Someone said, are you going to do anything for Easter? I don't even know when Easter is. I have no clue. Let's see. It's different every year. Some years it's in March, some years it's in April. Let's see. It is... Wow, it's the end of April. No, I didn't even know. 420. It's 420. Easter's on 420. Oh boy.
Heyo, DSP projecting here to point out the irony of how a true and honest Catholic who detests weed can't remember what day Easter is on. But Rich could build a 1 million sub channel high as shit. I guess now would be a good time to talk about cake.
What kind of cake am I having? I don't think I'm having a cake this year. Honestly. Like this year on my birthday, I told my wife I'd like to have her make food. Like actually have like food for the marathon that we can have rather than order out. Have a nice homemade meal, but we don't know what she's gonna make yet. But honestly, I probably will just have food and forget the cake. I've had cake every year, but to be honest, I'm not a big sweets guy. I'm just not. So even when my wife makes the cake, I usually end up eating like 2-3 slices of it, and then I don't eat the rest of it, and then we have to get rid of it. So probably it just makes more sense to just have food that day. Honestly.
I should have said talk about having your dying wife cook you food on your birthday so you can eat it alone in the closet. But back to cake, which Cat should bake and not make, which was your take. And I think I told you this story before when I was bragging about my plates of the non-paper variety, but I'm a bit of a bakist. And when I was first learning, I was baking with the French-style detractor. The recipe called for oil, and I had a cup of it measured, and my French friend asked me if I would be okay with drinking that. I said no, and we used butter in that cake, and I've never baked with oil again. But, as the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to oil, but it will use it to bake. And that's why he doesn't want to eat her nasty-ass cake. Which is somehow still less sad than what DSP says. Typically, cakes don't get thrown away. You share them. You eat them with friends. And shut the fuck up. You know no cake ever gets thrown out in that house.
John did a $2 super chat asking, what's my next home improvement that I'm going to do? Well, we had done a bunch. Remember, we had done all kinds of stuff. We kind of redone our bathroom with new shower head, new shower curtain, ripped all the stuff off the walls, put up whole new shelving, decorations, and things. So one bathroom kind of feels totally refreshed and new. We bought a new washer dryer because our washer dryer was wearing out after a decade and having tons of issues. And we've done other various odds and ends around the house and things. Honestly, at this point, anything else that we want to do is probably too large scale. Like, to be honest, our master bathroom is all messed up. The shower we don't use, the toilet we don't use, they're all broken. Okay? That needs to be gutted and redone. We don't have money for that. Okay? Our kitchen is starting to fall apart. Literally, the drawers and shit are all crappy quality, low end, and starting to actually wear out and fall apart. We got handles coming off. We got drawers coming out. It's messed up. And we want to redo the kitchen, but we can't afford that. You know, there's a difference between doing an appliance upgrade for a few $1,000s versus actually like major renovations of the house. So the only thing we can do for renovating, we want to wait and hope that the economy will turn around in the next few years. Now, we had a flipping government, right? Interest rates are starting to go down, and we're hoping that within the next, say, 3+ years, things will get better and better. And hopefully, at some point, I'll be able to do something with the equity in my home because I have a ton of equity in my house, and I've never been able to touch it because I have a really low mortgage rate from 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and I don't want to touch it and screw things up and massively increase my payments. That'd be pretty dumb. But I have a ridiculous amount of equity in the house that I could use to renovate the house and fix stuff and improve stuff. I would love to fix that bathroom. I would love to redo the kitchen. Those are projects that we've wanted to do for a while, but we just can't afford them. So we're hoping that things will continue in the right direction economy-wise, and that hopefully within a few years, you know, things will get better, and then we'll be able to actually use that equity to do things. But as of now, we're kind of stuck. To do anything with the equity in my home would be insanely stupid. with interest rates as high as they are, it would destroy me financially. Like, why would I want to take a mortgage that's way low percentage rate? I want to say my mortgage is like around like 4 to 5%. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's around there. Why would I refinance now at like 8, 9% and pay double? I'd be a moron, you know? So that's why I'm just waiting. Yes, interest rates are going to fall. That's bullshit. They are going to fall. It's just not going to be an overnight thing. All right, I've had enough of these people spamming, so I'm just going to remove them so we don't have to look at their nonsense, right? Okay. I received a 420 tip. From a name I'm not going to say, saying to show us your toilet. No, I'm not going to show you guys my toilet. That's stupid. Why would I show you the toilet? What a dumb thing to say. Yes, let me just open up my bathroom and show you everything in there. No. How about this? No. And since your name is dumb, you're anonymous. How about that? Come up with a better name. Okay. I get likely what'll happen because I'm thinking like what to do. Because if I do a full refinance of my mortgage, I'll screw myself on the interest rate. So I might have to wait for interest rates to drop, and then instead of doing that, do something different, like a home equity, loan or something like that, at least with lower interest, But if I do it now, I'd be shooting myself in the foot. I'd be a really stupid move. That's why I'm not doing it.
You don't have money for that? Where did all the money from the casino go? Because you didn't really mention an actual improvement reel. So I had spreadsheets ready and I was going to recite my resume where I mentioned how I used to audit mortgage originators, or how I refinanced my own mortgage twice all within the first 4 years of originating it, because I'm that good with Excel, but I'll save all of that for the members early video. Mostly as punishment for the members. You really shouldn't be paying me for this, just being honest. The withholders will just have to trust me, but DSP is going to pay 90% of the cost of his $265,000 home in interest alone over the life of the loan. Which is wild because rates were at record lows in that period. He should have something under 3%, which would have saved him about $100K in interest over the life of the loan. Yeah, he probably couldn't refi due to the bankruptcy, and he was too scared to put soulmate on the note even if she had the credit in the first place. In an Otter Place on Twitter, big ups by the way, pointed out how he could have just paid off the loan if he didn't pay champions. And to build on that, I thought if Phil didn't have a mortgage, he could have easily been investing an equivalent amount. And with that money, he could literally buy a house for Kat in Japan, not just visit. I make considerably less than Phil. My pied-à-terre is within reach. Phil has zero excuses. Oh yeah, in the release DMs, he mentioned he paid for one medical test for Kat and a streaming PC. Also, I don't think Phil understands how loans work, because he's never been held responsible to pay one back. But regardless of interest rates, if he taps into home equity, he has to pay that back, and that's going to increase payments. Unless he wants to take on a new 30-year loan that will span into his 70s. Holy shit, the motherfucker is crazy enough to do it. Just like the crazy people who like, comment, and subscribe to this nonsense, I really couldn't do it without you. Thank you, and deuces.